Hello everyone, welcome to Artful Garden Ideas. Today we talk about how to grow Phalaenopsis orchid plant. Orchid plants are one of the largest plant species in the world with over 1 million different varieties, but only small percentage are suitable for growing indoors. A Phalaenopsis orchid plant, also known as the moth orchid, is one of the varieties that does quite well. There are about 45 species in the Phalaenopsis genus, and most are native to India, southern China, and Southeast Asia. A Phalaenopsis orchid is a type of epiphytic plant, which means in nature it grows on the trunks and branches of trees as a houseplant, and with proper care, a Phalaenopsis orchid plant blooms again and again for many years. It has become very popular because, unlike other orchid plants, it has no resting period and may flower several times throughout the year. In nature, a Phalaenopsis orchid plant sends out aerial roots so it can cling to trees. So, as houseplant, most of its roots are above the pot and grow outside the container. This is perfectly normal, so don't cut them off. Tall flower stalks grow out of the leaf joints and produce 3 or 6 wide flattened flowers. The exquisite flowers grow in a line or long or arching stem and can be yellow, white, pink, lavender, purplish, cream, spotted, or striped. They often last 2 or 3 months. The large, leathery green, succulent leaves, as much as 18 long, are elliptic in shape and grow directly from the roots. Phalaenopsis orchids plant are beautiful, inexpensive replacement for a cut flower arrangements, or just an added delight for any room in your home or office. Now that they are being mass produced in greenhouse throughout the world, they are fairly inexpensive and easily available. There is an orchid plant for almost any lighting condition, but none like being in the direct sun. If an area is too dark, the leaves turn dark green instead of the grassy yellow green they should be, and the orchid plant doesn't bloom. If there is too much light, the leaves turn yellow and develop sunspots. A location near an east or west facing window is usually the best location. Most orchid plants prefer about 10 hours of light a day. The easiest way to kill any orchid plant is by overwatering. Always allow the top 50% of the potting compost to dry out before watering. Check the roots of an orchid plant monthly to be sure they are staying whitish green and plump. Set the plant in the deep saucer of water of about 30 minutes so it can absorb water throughout the drip. Holes in the bottom on the pot. Use dipped water that has not passed through a softener. Store it your houseland water as a lot of ceramic in it. Allow the water to sit out overnight before using it. Type of soil, temperature, time of the year, humidity, and pot size all influence and orchid plants watering needs. Orchid dry out a little faster in the winter because of the heat in your home and low humidity. Fertilize weekly when an orchid plant is actively growing. Dilute your plant food to 1 or 3 to recommended strength. Do not feed an orchid plant when it is dominated or when the plant is in bloom. There are excellent orchid plant foods on the market. You can also use a well-balanced house plant for at the recommended strength. Orchid plants do well in when the temperature is 65-80 during day and 15 color at night in the fall. Cool night temperature help the flower spikes develop once the orchid buds appear. Try to keep the temperature consistent or the buds may fall off. High humidity 50% of better is easiest. Setting an orchid plant in a stand and placing the stand a tray filled with bubbles and water helps increase the humidity. Be sure the plant never sits directly in the water. Orchid plants usually flower from December, May, and flower can last several months. The spectacular blooms can be as small as 1 or as large as 5 depending upon the orchid variety. Try not to gather water on the flowers. Orchid plants are prone to viruses, bacterial infection, and fungal infection. Increasing the air circulation around and is very beneficial to preventing disease. Orchid plants require a special soil and should never be planted in regular potting soil. It is much too dense. Use a dark based or pet based soil that retain water drainage well and allows the roots to breathe. Orchid plant soil should contain break, chipping, moss, and peatly. There are several commercial soil that are specifically for orchids. Repot only if the potting medium has deposited and is not draining quickly enough, or if the orchid plant possibles have or outgrown the pot. And use a clean razor blade or very sharp knife when pruning. Always remove any dead or diseased section immediately, otherwise these sick areas of the plant attract more pests and disease. Another pruning method for is it wait until your plant has finished blooming. Look for tiny bumps of or needs on the flower spike. Find the third node from the bottom and cut the spike off above the node. Pruning an orchid plant helps the plant produce more flowers during the next season. Orchid plants are propagated by planted division if they are spindly, such as Curtly orchid, or by stem cuttings if they are monophyly, such as Phalaenopsis orchid red marble.